What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video. I know it has been quite a while for videos for me. I've been kind of busy recently, transitioned to another house and moving all that. So yeah, today we're back with the second episode of Archtype Annals. Today's topic is going to be True Draco. This deck. Before I continue that, I also uninstalled Legio Pro by accident last week, so I had to get the app, I had to get it again, and then as you can clearly tell, I don't have as many decks as I used to, so I'm having to work back. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at True Draco. So, for the main deck monsters, we are going to go with Metaltron 12, the True Draco Combatant. It's a level 9 worm light monster, 3000 attack, 3000 defense. Requires 3 tributes to normal summon, cannot normal set. To tribute summon this card face up, you can tribute continuous spell trap cards you control as well as monsters. Unaffected by the effects of cards with the same card type, monster, spell, or trap, as the original type of card distributed for the tribute summon. If this tribute summoning monster is in its owner's control, is destroyed by opponent's monster card or battle card by card effect, you can special summon one fusion, synchro, or XZ monster that is earth, water, fire, or wind from your edge list. So noticeably, you'll notice that not a lot of people have played this. True story, back in my True Draco Medolce, I was playing this in it because I could make Clear Wing, and I can make Clear Wing and Crystal Wall. I can make Crystal Wing off of True Draco. So yeah, and make it unaffected by literally everything. So yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's a good card. But you're probably not gonna play it because it is kind of 3 tributes, and that might not be always the most optimal thing to do. But yeah, anyway, moving on to Mary Omni, the True Draco Phoenix. It's a level 9 worm, 27 attack, 21 defense. This card is in your hand. You can destroy 2 other monsters in your hand and or field face up on your field, including a wind monster. And if you do, switch to summon this card, and if you do that, and both destroyed monsters were wind, you can also banish exactly 4 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. If this card is destroyed by a card effect, you can add 1 non-wind worm type monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So you'll notice with this effect that it's like a True King. It's technically a True Draco card because that's True Draco name and not True King. So I don't know why it has this right here. But yeah, this card's really good. Well, it's played in Sit Sams now. True Draco Sit Sams. You didn't really play this in True Dracos or True Kings. You just didn't have the wind monsters to use the effect, which is really good. Banishing the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck, that's really good in today's game. Unless you're playing against zombies or Grand Maiju, then it's probably a problem. But yeah, this card's actually pretty decent. I was thinking about playing this in the True Draco build, but I had to play more winds, and I wasn't ready to add more winds to my monsters. And when it leaves the field, well, if it's destroyed by a card effect, you can add Masterpiece, which is the next card. Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King. Level 8 worm light monster, 2950, 2950. To tribute summon this card face up, you can tribute continuous stone trap cards you control as well as monsters, unaffected by the effects of cards with the same card type, monster, spell, or trap, as the original cards used for the tribute summon. Once per turn, during the player's turn, if you control this tribute summon monster, you can banish 1 continuous spell trap card from your grave, then target 1 card in the field, destroy it. I don't really have to explain why True Masterpiece is really good. This card literally was like the best card in the game for a little bit. Before Ash Blossom came into the game, as far as I don't know. Sorry. But yeah, this card is just really good. Obviously, it's still sitting at about a $15 price right now. So it's still got some relevance. I think True Dracos might be relevant now that Spirals are gone and Pendulums took a hit. I think True Dracos have a really good chance of shooting up there in price. So if you probably want to go ahead and get some if you don't have any. And the next card is pretty bad. Masterpiece, the True Draco Slayer. It's a level 8 dragon with 2950. Cannot be normal summon set, must be special summoned by attributing one Draco Slayer monster and one Draco Overlord monster, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. If this card is on his control is destroyed by an opponent's card by battle card effect, you can special summon one Draco Slayer monster and Draco Overlord from your deck. When I say bad, I don't mean bad as an effect, because its effects are pretty good. You have to attribute a Draco Slayer and a Draco Overlord, which in a Pendulum build might be able to work out with. But that's like the worst part of it. I mean, it's a negation, which is really good. And you get when it leaves the field, pretty much, you get the special summon, at least you get to replace those two monsters you attributed for it. So it's really good for the deck. No one plays it though, because it's not offensive enough. Masterpiece it's defensive and offensive. This is just defensive. I guess it could be offensive with the special two from the deck. I just feel like if you do play this, you want to only play one or two, and then play maybe like one or two copies of each of the other ones. A Pendulum deck, like I said, would probably be able to use this more than anything. Moving on, we head to the first banned card for True Dracos. I say first because there's likely going to be another banned card on the ban list that's True Draco. Anyway, Dynamite Knight, a True Draco fighter. It's a level 6 Wyvern with 2512 attack. To tribute summon this card, face up, you can tribute a continuous face up, a continuous spell trap card you control instead of a monster. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect while you control this tribute monster, you can take one True Draco or True King continuous trap from your deck and either activate it or add it to your hand. As you can tell, this is banned for a good reason. The trap card right here is the reason why it got banned. We'll talk about return in a few minutes, but let's go ahead and talk about this. Dynamite was just really good. It was this best searcher. It searched the best trap in the deck, the most reactive. And yeah, this card could have probably stayed at 1 as well as return, but they outright banned it. So what are you gonna do, right? Moving on, we head to Drieth the Third, True Draco Cavalry General. That's a mouth freaking full. To tribute summon this card face up, you can tribute a continuous spell trap card you control instead of a monster. Your opponent cannot target face up True Draco or True King monsters on the field with card effects, except this one. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this face up tribute summon the monster leaves the field, you can special summon one True Draco or True King monster from your deck in True Defense. So, as you notice, True Draco and True King and Draco Overlord, I believe it is, yeah, and Draco Slayer are all like one archetype put together. So, yeah, I'll probably fool around with a build with all of them later on tonight. But this card is okay. It has the same thing as this Masterpiece. It's not good enough to be played at 2, but it might be good enough played at 1 in some variants. But yeah, it's nothing in this deck is actually bad, so that's why I like True Draco's a lot, because nothing is really bad. Moving on, the Ignis Heat True Draco Warrior. It's a level 5 Wyvern. It's fire, 2400, 1000 defense. To tribute this card, it's the same thing like Dynamite, but this time around, it searches for True Draco or True King continuous spell from your deck or activate it. This one got put to 1 because There's literally possibly a +2. There's I think it was what, Heritage? Yes, Heritage is like a really good card that lets you draw and tribute summon. It's really good because you can draw and then tribute summon, or you tribute something and then draw. So it's pretty good in retrospect. This card definitely needed to be put to 1. I don't know why this got put to 1 and Dynamite didn't. I feel like they were both kind of really strong, but I guess I understand why Dynamite, because the trap was just better, even though it's slower. Moving on is my favorite, Majesty Maiden, the true Draco caster. I played 3 of this in my Madolche build, so yeah, it's a really fun card. You search for a true Draco or true King monster from your deck to your hand. This card was really good. It helped me get to Ignis or Masterpiece while I didn't have them. It searched for another one as well, so you could deck them technically with it. This card's just okay. They're playing it a little bit more now than all other because they lost 4 spots with 2 Ignis, with 1 Ignis and 0 Dynamites. So yeah, they're playing a little bit more of this. It's really good. I love this card. It's just a monster search. Moving on to the spells, finally. Forge of the True Dracos. If a Draco Slayer monster that is not a Pendulum monster and a Draco Overlord monster on the field, shuffle as many cards on the field as possible into the deck. Then you can special summon 1 Draco Slayer or Draco Overlord monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Again, this pendulum build could get away with this more likely. You're not gonna want to shuffle your Masterpiece away, or you're not gonna want to search any of your boss monsters away, which is Masterpiece and maybe like the other 2, these 3. If you are playing a different variant, so yeah, you wouldn't want to switch it away. But pendulums, the stipulation where you can't be a pendulum monster for Draco Slayer is kind of rough, but these are literally all Draco Slayer. Well, all these are Draco. There's Draco Slayer, is Masterpiece, and there's probably a few others that aren't technically considered true Draco. But yeah, this card is meh. But this is probably the worst of the cards out of this whole archetype. True Draco Heritage, this is the best. This is going to be one of the best. This is the better of the continuous spells. During your main phase, you can draw cards equal to the number True Draco or True King cards types, monster, spell, and trap, sent to the field to the grave. This turn. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon 1 True Draco or True King monster face up. If this card is sent from the spell and trap to the grave, you can target a spell and trap and destroy it. So in order to save time, the spells pop back row, and the traps pop monsters. This one's really good. It can be a it can be a +2. Yeah, I think it's a +2 at best, and it's an even 0 at worst. It's not the worst. It's an ultra rare. It's definitely the better of the 2 continuous spells. Speaking of which, Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. This is literally a Daigusto Emerald for True Dracos, and then it has the same effect as Heritage, where you get a tribute summon. Yeah, and if it hits the field, because it laughs, it pops a spell and trap. Alright, moving on to the last and the best spell card in the stack, Dragonic Diagram. I don't even want to talk about this card because everybody probably knows what it does anyway, but let's continue. All True Draco and True King monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. Blah, that's not really irrelevant because most of the time some of your stuff is... Masterpiece is really unaffected by this sometimes. First time each tribute summon True Draco or True King monster would be destroyed. It is not. By battle, it is not. It is once per turn you can destroy one of the card you control or in your hand, and if you do, add 1 True Draco or True King card from your deck to the hand. That stipulation where it destroys instead of just discarding is what makes this card so freaking good. You can play this in dinosaurs, you can play this in literally anything that says if this card is destroyed, not only you get a possible plus, but you'll get a search. This card is just really good. It's sitting, I think, about $40 right now again. So I wish I hadn't sold my True Draco stuff. But yeah, it's about $40, and this is still the best card in the deck. Moving on to the traps, we're almost done with this archetype. True King's Return. If this card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the grave, you can target a monster in the field to strike. You cannot activate the following effects of True Draco's return in the True King's Return in the same chain. You can target one True Draco or True King monster in your grave, special summon and defense. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot social summon. During your opponent's main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon one True Draco or True King monster face up. You can only use each effect once per turn. I don't think I have to explain why this is good. It's a monster reborn. Well, it's called the Haunted. Well, it's an Oasis of Dragon Souls. Sorry, it's an Oasis of Dragon Souls that keeps you from special summoning for the rest of the turn, which is fine. True Dracos don't really do a lot of that, so this is like the only one. And then the second one is just disruption on your opponent's turn, and that's why this deck was so good for a little bit. Moving on to the last and final main deck card is True Draco Apocalypse. Same effect as return, it pops a monster. You can target one other True Draco or True King card you control, destroy it, and if you do, the attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent controls become half their current attack and defense, even if this card leads to field. That's not really relevant, but that can help OTK and get over big powerful monsters. So that's pretty decent. And then your opponent's main phase, you can tribute. True King or True Draco. Yeah, this card's, okay. It's definitely not bad. You're definitely going to play 3 of this because it's only you can play 3 of them now. So moving on to the final card in this deck before I give my thoughts. We're moving on to True King of All Calamities. It's a 3,000 attack monster, 3,000 defense, and it's a rank 9, which we don't have a lot of, so that's a good rank 9. Once per turn, during the player's turn, you can detach one material from this card and declare one attribute. This turn, all face-up monsters on the field become that attribute. Also, all monsters in that opponent's possession with that attribute can activate their effects or attack. Monsters that True Draco and True King monsters in your hand will destroy with their effects can be chosen from your opponent's field. That right there is pretty good, but no one ever uses that. No one ever uses that effect because most of the time you want to pop stuff on your own field so you can get search and a plus. And dinosaurs play this deck the most anyway. Dinosaurs play this card the most anyway, so most of the time you don't want to do that. You can if you have to out something, but yeah. That was True Dracos. Everybody, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. I've still been a little busy lately, so I don't have all the time in the world anymore. I'll try to have some more worst card names and deck reviews. I'm still having to go. I'll definitely have a worst card name coming up. I'll have a deck review coming up. Speaking of which, that deck will be Melodious. So I'll be deck reviewing Melodious either tomorrow or tonight. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.